Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. Welcome to another exciting episode of Frail Conversations. Today, I'm gonna talk about semen retention. Um, apologies for the last episode not being released. This was supposed to be the last episode. However, I don't know what the fuck happened. I recorded the whole episode. Um, the file is just gone. Like this is like the second time something like that has happened. And the only thing that really remained intact was the intro. Why, I don't know, but um I ended up deleting that shit too because all of the shit got to flow. So with that, I was tight. So I couldn't go back and re-record it because these things happen in the moment. These are, things that occur in the moment. So I couldn't go back and do it over. You feel what I'm saying? And then I didn't want to have that gap in between um for conversations and the actual profanity. um so what I did was just decide to take a break, but it's in that break that different things came to reality, clarity was revealed. So I'm saying that this episode that I'm now going to be giving is needed now as opposed to being needed then, or needed or able to be recorded then, because like the whole motherfucker didn't record. But anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that because that's the past. The past is what it is, and we need to be forward thinking and moving on to the future. But today we're going to be talking about semen retention, and the reason why I want to talk about semen retention because I was asked by a brother, like, is there any benefit to it? Because I was like, I mean, yeah, bro, like, you're not tired. I gave him some little basic shit or whatever the case may be. So he asked me, he was like, yo, what proof do you have that semen retention works or whatever the case may be? And, it's going to be this, that, third. And I'm like, I feel like there's animosity coming in his throat. Like, bitch, I'm not telling you not to be out here fucking and doing the shit like that. I'm telling you how I operate in life. Like, the fuck? Like, you feel me? So it kind of got to where, he's like, yo, what proof do you have that it works? I'm like, yo, clearly, if you look at a motherfucker's life, you can see, not my life particularly, but I mean, like in general, like when motherfuckers is always tired and shit like that or whatever the case may be. So he, then try to press me and shit like, yo, what do you do with the semen retention? Anybody could just talk about it. I said, bitch, go check out my website. You feel me? Everything that I've created, everything that I put into this world is because I retain my semen, which then gave me the life force and a stronger life force energy, which in turn gave me the creativity to be able to put the things that I need to put into this world. You know what I mean? And then, he was like, oh, okay. So it got me thinking like, ignorance is not bliss, it's evil. You feel me? I'm gonna tie this shit in the semen retention somehow, but ignorance is not bliss, it's evil. Like what we don't understand, you feel me? We just continue it. And, it makes it pushes our reality to where we feel like every time we have, like this is why it's like the culture promotes the over sexualization of us, because I'm starting to tie the two together and shit like that. I'm starting to tie how this reality plays in, when we are built for and programming our minds to be lustful deviants or to be motherfuckers who just accumulate bodies and shit like that. It's like you nutting every single time. And it's like, yo, if we can do this, we can keep their life force energy. We can keep them at a certain point where their bodies are not functional. And you know me, I studied the human body. I studied it well. And I started to learn certain shit that was like, for us as men, especially black men, this shit is tied to sex. Not just from the spiritual aspect, but the fact that we fucking 2 and 3 times a day, going 2 and 3 rounds and shit. And when I started studying the backside of it, I said, yo, ignorance is evil. The fact that we don't know any of this shit is what's killing us. You feel me? It's like, yeah, that feeling is good, you know. And I'm not just talking about from the physical aspect of potentially catching a disease or, what I'm saying? That's just surface shit. I mean, on the mental side, the spiritual side, what this shit is actually fucking doing to us because we will not or practice semen retention because we can't. Because a lot of us are so far into this shit that we can't break the addiction that it gives us because we're looking for that nut. We're not even actually fucking anymore for like the feels. of the vagina is just to get the nut off the vagina. You dig what I'm saying? We don't know how to be in the moment. We don't know how to charge our energies up. We don't know that every piece of our penis is connected to a certain organ within our bodies, and sex is a healing thing when you take it slow and do the right process. But now we just trying to get in and get out. You dig what I'm saying? It's about replenishing and recharging our energy, but we just can't completely deplete it. And it's like you hear the music, you hear all of these things, we become sex symbols and all of this other shit. Like, it's so much shit tied into the reality that fucks us over. You feel me? And I feel like now is the time to address it in a different light, and the benefits of it. And now that I'm thinking about it, I know why that episode was deleted, because the way I'm about to go with it now is not how I went with it the first time. But before we dive into this motherfucker, be sure to follow me on Instagram at _just_scene_. Be sure to check out my website at iamjustseen.com to get all things that are just seen. If you're on Clubhouse, I ain't on Clubhouse no more. That shit got fucking annoying. Like, the fuck, bruh. Like, all they do is, I ain't even gonna get into it because that does not need this energy right now. But I ain't on Clubhouse no more just that fast. So you can't follow me up there. Well, you probably can, but because I can't delete my account, but I don't fuck with Clubhouse no more. It is what it is, bro. Sis, all y'all. But yeah. To all who tip, sponsor, and donate to the podcast, I greatly appreciate it. To all who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor the podcast, you could do so by clicking the description of your podcast, not just the episode, but the podcast itself. So that's that for this, and that's this for that. So when we come back, we're going to dive into Frail conversations, semen retention. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit iamjustseen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the Frail series to your library? Visit iamjustseen.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit iamjustseen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit iamjustseen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit iamjustseen.com. You ever want to just chat with Scene about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit iamjustseen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at iamjustseen.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit iamjustseen.com. All right. Welcome back. And without further ado, as I said, we're going to dive straight into, semen retention. Semen retention is important. It's important to your life force energy. It's important to your vitality. It's important if you want to keep your hair. It wasn't until after I was already bald and shit and already thinning that I learned this. So, and it's like, you can't get the shit you already lost back. So what the fuck? I'm not about to walk around looking like Patches Malone. So fuck it. You feel me? And that's another thing, bro. Real quick, it's just a tangent. If you are at that point, embrace your baldy, bro. Let the shit go. The fuck? You don't need no hairpiece. You don't need all of this shit. Like, yo, embrace that shit. Like, I've learned that as a people, we get so afraid of growing old physically because we realize how unaccomplished we are, low-key, and we're that closer to death without having much done. So it makes it harder for us to accept and embrace growing old. So we think we can look in the mirror every day and feel and not feel old because we're doing young shit or keeping up with the younger people that will stay in this certain pocket. And we need to stop doing that shit. Embrace growing old, embrace maturity, and embrace the next phases and the transitions of your life. You feel what I'm saying? I lost all my hair and I got a beard. So I feel like that was an even exchange, if you ask me. You feel me? Like, I used to have waves. Now I got a thick ass beard and the shit looks healthy and luxurious and vibrant. So the fuck, you feel me? But I digress. But anyway, semen retention is a very important practice because it is a action that keeps you on point. It keeps your energy on point. It keeps your soul on point, keeps your mind on point. A lot of the mental clarities that we have, the mental fogs, not the clarities, a lot of mental fog that we have, a lot of the sluggish moments that we have is due to the fact that we're releasing so much life force energy on a consistent basis. You feel what I'm saying? And it doesn't help that The women we involve ourselves with have now prided themselves off of quote unquote snatching souls. Well, they've always prided themselves off of that. Let me get that correct. I don't want it to feel like this is a new era thing. The term snatching souls is just what it has evolved to now. We all do the same shit over decades and eras, but we just have different names for it. But women have this preconceived notion that fucking if a man doesn't nut, that they pussy is trash. And maybe we as men contributed to that, and or yoni. Let me say that, however y'all choosing to say it. Fuck with me though. And maybe we as men have contributed to that because we try to get the nut every time, and you feel what I'm saying? Not realizing that we have to stop doing that all the time because it's masturbation with a body. The only time you technically should be getting a nut is when you're actively trying to conceive a child. Every time anything outside of that, it's you need to be retaining it. You feel me? You don't have to bust. You don't have to get to the climactic point and release that shit, right? But we feel that we do. They make condoms for that very reason. A lot of this shit is for the promotional push to tap into your mind to get you fucking and nutting. Not just fucking, but fucking and nutting too. Because when you are in a deficit like that, I like to look at it as a deficit because on a physical level, you're depleting nutrients. A lot of the main nutrients that your body needs to function. You feel me? On a spiritual level, you're depleting your life force energy. You dig what I'm saying? You're depleting your life force energy as opposed to replenishing it. And every release that we have, it kind of it takes away a piece of our life, takes away a piece of our soul. Of course, it dumps it into the woman. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't to say on some shit like, well, only men pour their souls into women. Women just take, no, women transfer energies too. It becomes a pot because now you absorb somebody else's energy and shit too. But we're not going to get too heavy into that because we're talking about semen retention today. All right. So it's in this understanding of the semen retention and what we're actively losing. There's the promotions of, I got to get the nut. I got to, I'm just trying to fuck and all of this shit. And we are getting ourselves addicted to the feeling of what the nut gives us. It's not necessarily the nut itself. It's the addiction to the feeling. You feel me? Because we don't even know what the power of an orgasm really is. You dig what I mean? So we internalize these things, and every day in the media, the different things like that, it portrays it. We watch porn and shit, and we get conditioned in knowing that we got to bust like that's the end. Like, I don't think people understand the entertainment aspect behind pornography. You feel me? Because I don't think we sit and take the time to do it. Because we just think, oh, I'm just gonna watch this. Like, it's another form of programming. There's another form of programming, and so much so that it programs you to a point where you are internalizing a form of sex that is an illusion. And in addition to that, you are programming yourself that there always has to be a finish. You feel me? Every fucking scene always ends with the money shot. It always ends with the motherfucker busting on a woman's face or busting on the ass or some shit like that. We program ourselves to know or to believe that that is what you're supposed to do with sex, and you're not. You feel me? That is not what you're supposed to do. Is it fun? That's debatable. I could just only think back to my earlier days and shit. Yeah, like that's what it was. Yo, let me bust in the mouth, bust in the face. You know what I'm saying? It's little shit that we get off on that has been programmed within us to get off on, to get off for, to be like, yeah, man, she swallowed and this, that, and the third. Like, hear it in the song, and then she follows in the back of my mind. I'm hoping she swallows. It's different programming that has been wired within us to release our orgasm every time we are having a sexual encounter. And that is not what's supposed to happen. That is not what's supposed to happen. These things desensitize our mentality to the true understanding of what's really going on. You dig what I'm saying? So what happens is, what we're not paying attention to, and it's in the consumption of the pornos that we're watching, and it's in the full consumption of all of these things that we're not paying attention to the scene being developed. We're not paying attention to that woman is discomforting and all of that shit. It's a whole bunch of behind the scenes shit that we're not paying attention to. You feel me? All of this is going to tie into semen retention because it's very important, because these things program us not to retain our semen. Why would something not want you to retain your semen? You feel me? Because now you have to go into the layers of what it actually is. You feel me? Like I say, it's your life force energy. You dig what I'm saying? And in addition to that, now I'm going to tie it into how the same programmer ties into women too. Oh, if he don't bust, then my pussy's trash. If he don't bust, then, you know what I'm saying, it is that. And so these two mentalities are tied in together. You feel me? On a regular scale. You know what I mean? Dude, like, I couldn't even bust, man. Her pussy was trash. No, it won't. You weren't supposed to. Busting off is something that fucks you up, because this is how you eventually get to erectile dysfunction. They don't want to tell you that part. You feel me? I've learned, and I've been trying to tell motherfuckers this shit for a long ass time. When there's some kind of medicine, there's some kind of pill or something created by them in that fucking system, it is designed to work. Not in a sense of work on you, but I mean, it's designed to stay in rotation. It is not a temporary thing. Why? Because they understand the process of what they're doing to human bodies in between time. You feel me? They know the science behind how the body is working, so they know how to use a certain thing to make this work, to make this functional. You feel me? Erectile dysfunction is a thing, and it's happening a lot younger. It's happening for men a lot younger. Viagra used to be something only old heads talked about, and they were ashamed to talk about the shit. Now you got motherfuckers my age talking about, yeah, pop a Viagra and tear it to pieces. Like, bro, like, you need Viagra at 30? What the fuck, bro? Like, how are you having these issues at 30 years old? Granted, of course, it's the food, it's the way in which we eat and everything like that, but it goes even deeper than that. It goes into deeper than that, because there's still people that, you know, so that's why people need to go plant-based or whatever the case may be. Oh, yes, like, I've been told that going plant-based it makes a motherfucker taste different. You feel me? Because like I tell my mama, when I had my slip up during my celibacy in 2015, I was told it tastes like, you know, Skittles and shit. I was like, oh. But again, it's in learning these things that I started to learn different aspects, like, you feel me, over time, that, I should have been releasing like that. But now I'm learning more about the war behind this shit. Everybody talks about a spiritual war coming and shit, but they don't understand spirituality, so they think it's a religious war, so they're waiting on it. I'm not going to get into that. This is about semen retention. So when we are looking at how these things tie into our reality, right, this is a system that's designed this way. So like I was saying, you have, you know, there was a time when, you know, only like men 65 and older were using Viagra. Now it's starting to get lower than that, like 50s and shit like that. Like, it's dudes my age, little, you know what I'm saying, that have erectile dysfunction. Why? Because now we're looking at how the consumption of porn is. You feel me? This very consumption gives us a quicker access to it at a lot earlier ages. I watched my first flick when I was 7. Right? I never forget it. I'm about to snitch, but we old, so it don't matter. My brother had a tape. Now this is how old it is. My brother had a tape, right? Which I'm like 7 years old, so he's like 13. No, he's 14. So it's, you know, and I was cleaning up the room one day, and like, I kicked the shoebox, and a little tape fell out. I said, "What movie is this?" Because he used to always watch dope movies and shit, like karate movies and shit, right? So I put the motherfucking movie on and shit, and I was like, "Oh, what the hell is this?" It was like, that shit, it fucked me up. But it didn't fuck me up because it planted a seed. And it aroused something in me at 7 years old. And that was like the first time I was like, oh shit, this is different. And it was like, that's what I don't know. I guess it changed me. I guess because I seen it at 7, and by the time I was 11, I was ready to experience it. But that's that I digress about. But That's this showing like the ease of access. Like my brother had to have a tape that he got from somebody. Like he had one tape, one, you know, and I happened to stumble upon it and find it and shit. But now, you feel me? Everything can be given from your phone. Pornhub is a thing. So this now look, this is in the pocket of my generation. You feel me? This is the pocket of my generation. We literally are the transitional phase of a whole bunch of advanced technologies that we're not even paying attention to because we're so worried about flying cars. We're worried about flying cars and jets and shit that we can't see the real reality of a lot of the technological advances that it's given us access to shit. That's really unreal and it's fucking our mentalities up. But I'm gonna stick to the thing. So you feel me? I have the privilege of being able to see we went from tapes to streaming. Like if you got a DVD collection and shit, like I said, I had the tapes. Like my brother had a tape, I had a DVD. You feel what I'm saying? I had a DVD, and you feel me? I think it was like Booty Talk 31 or some shit like that. And I would have to pick my favorite scene. You feel me? And then do my thing. I was like 13, 14 years old. You feel me? But again, now look at how we're being taught that it's okay to release all the time. You feel me? It's okay to release all the time. People are saying, yeah, masturbation is healthy. We got to encourage masturbation and shit like that. And it's like, no, especially not for men. I get encouraging masturbation for women who don't get orgasms. There's a whole different science behind why women ain't getting orgasms and why we're getting too many. You feel what I'm saying? It's a reason for that. But I'll shut that down for a different conversation for a different day because this is about semen retention. So it's like the ease of access for the shit that we have now is instant. You feel me? It's instant. So now we expect, and in this, we're also programming our minds to, get in and out. You feel me? There's like levels to the shit. I remember when I first experienced the ability that I can do that shit, it blew my motherfucking mind. The shit felt good. It was, you know what I mean? I was like, nigga, this shit feels good. Kind of set the tone. You feel me? It kind of set the tone because I realized that I got addicted to the feeling. It was never really the sex. It was the feeling, Then when I actually started fucking and started having sex, it was like, that's why one of the things that I was really glad about that was ironic when I first lost my virginity was that I didn't bust. So I never set that expectation that I have to have it. You feel what I'm saying? Maybe that planted the seed. I don't know. But I was 11. I don't even know if I was able to get it or not. Because I didn't know. Like, I think I had my first orgasm after I lost my virginity. You feel me? Like, I think I was like, when I actually was able to sit and say, yo, something's coming out of me and this shit's different. You feel me? But I couldn't talk to nobody about it. I couldn't tell nobody about it. I couldn't express how I felt. Nobody wanted to listen and say, oh, you're too young for this. You're too young to know about this. But then when you hear the stories of conquest, when you hear your homies and shit telling the stories, everybody, yeah, man, I busted on that bitch face. I busted in her eye and all this shit. Like, we say these things and fuck, that is a horrible thing to do. By the way, you can blind a motherfucker. Like, it's just weird. Like, we do some crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? And we brag about the shit that we do. And it's like I said, it's what the shit is tied to. It's like, you know what I'm saying? We brag, oh, my pull-out game is on point, or I pull out and just like, there's not a need for that. Like, you're not even supposed to be having the orgasm every single time. You feel me? But like I said, it's the way in which we're desensitized. Not only desensitized, but desensitized and conditioned into the programming to have a release every time. So it's like I said, you watching the porn, you watch the shit to the end, motherfucker bust off, whatever the case may be. It's always the same shit. So you program your mind. Your mind is now being wired to believe that every time I have sex with a woman, I gotta pop off on her. You feel me? In some way, shape, or form. Either I'm be on top of her, I pull out, bust on the stomach. You feel me? Either I'm getting some head, I bust in the mouth, I bust on the face, or I'm hitting it from the back and I bust on the ass. You feel me? It's always about your finish is about busting. So much so, like I said, it's programmed and wired into the women that it's like, yo, if he don't bust, then it's trash. Or if he don't bust, something's wrong with me. Ain't nothing wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with him. Neither one of y'all are supposed to be in a position to have that orgasm until you're in the spiritual climactic position. We diluted ourselves so much that we're tapping into a spiritual place in a physical moment, in a matter of minutes. Like instant, it's almost instantaneous. So again, like I said, this programs us, and now we're going on the quest. Now we're going on the hunt. Yo, let me fuck this chick. Let me get all of these bodies and shit. You know what I mean? There's two guarantees that's gonna happen that's gonna deplete you as a man. You feel me? You're either gonna catch something if you're raw dogging or whatever the case may be, or because you're having so many orgasms, you're tired. You're exhausted all the fucking time. You feel me? I got a cousin who, you know, me and him were, I say ultimately neck and neck when it comes to, you know, we were ages apart, but it comes to the neck and neck to the type of motherfuckers we were on, type of shit we was on. You feel what I'm saying? I think by like 17, by 16 to 17, like motherfuckers was like, yo, they were like, yo, Ray catching more bodies than you, bro. He fucking more than you. She was like, yeah, man, that nigga ain't getting more pussy than me. Man, he got me fucked up. I was like, they was like, nah, bro, I'm telling you, yo. It's like, yo, he might be knocking off more than you. And like hearing that conversation in hindsight now, it's like, yo, that's some devastating shit. Y'all were my big homies. And y'all were bragging that I was fucking more than y'all. When y'all should have been telling me to slow down. Y'all should have been telling me, yo, bro, this ain't the way. Like, yo, but none of us knew. None of us knew this shit. You feel me? But like I said, I was talking to this cousin and shit. He was like, man, I'm tired, bro. And I'm like, what the fuck you tired for? He said, man, I'm drained, man. When you get pussy like me, bro, you always tired. I was like, man, you bullshitting, bro. Like, man, you better go charge up or something. He's like, man, I can't, man. I just need a break, man. But Shorty wanted me to come over again tonight, man. Damn. I was like, so you gonna go away? He said, hey, yeah, man. I'm like, you're tired. You know you're tired. But it's like, you know what I mean? And he was still functioning, still moving, still going through life and shit. It was like it's like it put into perspective because it was like when I was young and fucking like I didn't bust every time. You feel me? I didn't bust every time. Cause also too, like my shit, cause I was like, you know, like I said, I was 11 when I started. So when I'm like actively into it, I'm like 14 to like 17 and shit. But that pocket between 14 and 15, 14, 15, 14, and 16, it's like I'm pretty much not nutting when I'm in these chicks. Why? Because it's like, bam, they mama about to come home, or you feel me? Like I got to get in and get out. Like I can't just like I'm not here to, you know, make love and bust it down right. It's like bam, 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 bam. Oh shit, somebody coming. Boom, boom, boom. We hopping out the windows and shit. Like you feel what I'm saying? Adrenaline rushing. So that orgasmic feel wasn't always there. So I wasn't as tired as, you know what I mean? And like, I still had the mental clarity. I still had these things. You feel me? Sneaking off in school and shit. Yo, let's meet me in the bathroom. Let's go to the bathroom. Or, you know what I'm saying? Meet me in the gym. We like, it went down in the gym, bro. Like, you feel me, motherfucker? You pull up under a bleacher and shit. You go to the locker room. It was, man, look, bro, it was some crazy shit. I lived a wild life, y'all. I lived a wild fucking life. But I'd say I didn't start like bussing like consistently until I got to college. You feel me? And it'll be like I was comfortable with that, like knocking somebody off and shit. And then, you know what I mean? But like, all right, I ain't nuts, so we good. And like, it was just like, all right, I'm done. But it kept that vigor in me. It kept me vibrant, bro. It was different. You feel what I'm saying? I wasn't tired. It wasn't until I went to undergrad that it's like, damn. Like even in the process, like I always, you know what I'm saying? I worked out and shit in high school and shit, but I always had I noticed my posture change. I noticed my posture would change too. Like, cause by undergrad and shit, this woman, like this was some toxic shit. But at the end of the day, it was like, I didn't bust every single time. You feel what I'm saying? I didn't bust every single time. And then it got to a point where every woman was like, yo, I gotta make you come. I'm gonna do this in 2 minutes and shit. College college showed me some free shit. But it's like, that was the first time I stepped into a position where every time I had sex, I had to get a nut. Because it was like, damn, I don't want you to feel bad, but like the pussy good, but it's just, I'm not a, I'm not a nutter, bro. I'm not a comer. Like Like if I'm in the shit, I'm in it. And it started to transition me into that shit. So I started to notice that my shoulders started dropping because I was tired all the fucking time. I didn't feel like my energy was very, very low. And it was my sophomore year. Now, mind you, this girlfriend that I was with, like, we had sex so motherfucking much because I didn't know a lot of the shit that I know now. You feel me? I didn't know that she was fucking to escape. I didn't know that it was she needed her soul touch to feel good inside, to feel beautiful, to feel all these things. Like that's how she internalized life. So I gotta cater to that shit. I'm like, man, I don't feel like fucking right now. Goddamn. Well, who is she? You must be fucking somebody else. And no, I'm not. I'm tired. I am fucking exhausted. The fuck? Like, you ain't tired. You this, that. No, I am. I don't think women understand that. Cause women don't get orgasms as much. Now, the crazy thing is, like, I was like, it got to the point where I was like, man, I'm so fucking tired, man. I'm about to make her come in 3 minutes so she can go to sleep. You feel me? I make a bus and she, oh my God, and that didn't do shit but drive her crazy and wanted more. Cause I'm like, damn, man, shit, let me rest. Let me fucking rest. I gotta fuck you, go to class, keep my mental on point. And I started to realize shit, I was just detached from I was like, yo, why is my mind so foggy? At first I thought it was because I was smoking weed. It wasn't because I was smoking. I was like, man, but I was still doing my thing when I was a kid smoking weed. You feel me? There's like, well, we got stronger. All of this shit. I tried to put it on so many different things, but it was tied down to the sex. The fact that I was having an orgasm every single time. You feel what I'm saying? Like me and this one, like we were having sex like 2-3 times a day. Like it was weird. You feel what I'm saying? It wasn't weird. Well, nah, fuck that. It was weird. I'm gonna say that shit is weird. That's just not normal. That's just not fucking normal, bro. And we need to stop trying to normalize that shit because it's killing us as men. It's exhausting us. You feel what I'm saying? We brag, oh, I'm gonna put in 3-4 rounds and shit like that. And that's what you do. That's what's bagging your groceries. By all means, do that shit. But if you running these 3 and 4 rounds, don't have an orgasm every fucking round. Stop doing that shit. Because what a lot of women don't understand, and a lot of us don't understand, is every orgasm we have is the equivalent of running 20 miles. You're releasing the amount of energy required to run, equivalent of running 20 miles. You dig what I'm saying? It got to a point where, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, when me and this woman first started having sex, it was cool. I wasn't busting, but she was feeling bad. Oh, my pussy must not be good to you then. So I was like, it's fucking great. That's why I'm lasting in this motherfucker. I had to start getting to a point where I can force it. Like force the nut out. Like I'm like, all right, now let me squeeze, let me do this, nah, get the butt. Like nah, I was, I started tensing my body up. You feel what I'm saying? It was like, and then when I look back, I remember the first time it happened. Like I'm like, well, not the first time it happened, but I remember the first time I was told to speed up to, you know what I'm saying? It was, I was 15 years old. This is two separate occasions, but I was 15 years old. It was still in my year 15. So I was 15 and I had, there was a party I was invited to. I'm not going to divulge the details and shit, but there was a party and I was drunk. And everybody in the party was family. So there was only one person that wasn't the family. So, of course, that's who I'm going to end up fucking. The fuck? Because everybody was like, yo, encouraging this shit. Like, we was dancing on each other and shit. And motherfuckers was like, motherfuckers started sliding me condoms and shit. So I was like, all right, cool. Went into the room. Ended up fucking this person. I don't know if it was the alcohol. I don't know if it's just because I was an excited 15-year-old. But, you feel me? We was fucking for like 3 hours. And it's like, damn, it was fucking so long that I had to pause, pee, and then come back into it because it was like, damn, she's like, are you done? I was like, what do you mean done? The fuck you mean done? And she's like, well, you ain't bust yet. I know, I'm not about to. Like, I didn't know it. So that had to be brought to my attention. You know what I mean? And then I had it was like, yo, bro, you're not supposed to be like, tighten up, like fucking squeeze and get the shit out. And like, bam, that started the process of me being cognizant, aware of how to force a nut, you know what I mean, when you're getting it. And then, that's when it started to transition, But a lot of us are like that. A lot of us have gotten tied into that shit. So, but like I said, now back to undergrad and shit, like I said, now I'm in the space where every time I'm fucking, I'm nutting. Every time I'm fucking, I'm nutting. And there will be spells where We would be fucking nonstop. Only time we was not fucking is when her cycle was on. That's it. That's the only time I got rest. Nigga. It's like, damn, that shit starts to take its toll on you. Cause like I said, I can't run 20 miles straight. Not in no fucking hour. Not in no fucking 45 minutes, hour and a half. I can't run. I can't even run an hour doing it in 15 minutes if I'm popping the quickie out. Like, you feel me? Sometimes we'll have quickies before class and shit. You feel me? And that's when it's like, she was like, yo, this was supposed to be a quickie. It's only been 30 minutes. What you mean? She said, no, you're supposed to have been done like in 10. The fuck? No, that's not a quickie. Like, now you missed class. Well, sure fault. You should have planned better. Anyway, so it got to a point where the quickies, like those quickies, that's another sense of the program. And it's like, bam, let me get this nut real fast. And we wonder why we have erectile dysfunction. We wonder why we come quick. We're now programming and wiring our bodies, the sensitivity of our bodies to when it is aroused, you're not going to get over this amount of time. You feel me? You feel me? It used to take a long time, like when, you're a kid, you know what I'm saying? You actually use lotion and shit. And you took your time with the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? You motherfucking, somebody, mama about to leave, daddy about to leave, somebody, you got that crib to your motherfucking self. You locking all the doors, you cracking, you peeking, you open up the blinds just a little bit so you can see if the cars ride past and shit, how to hop the tapes and everything and shit. Like, you have a little intimate setting with yourself. You're using lotion and you taking your time. You watching this whole motherfucker. You just like, bam. Then it gets older to where we lose that patience. That patience was ultimately caused us to, have quickies, nut quick, and it leads to, the erectile dysfunction and the other shit that we're dealing with and a lot of the other shit that we're facing. But at the core of it, it's because we're releasing a lot and we're releasing way too much. You feel what I'm saying? So going back to that, starting to transition to that shit, like I said, that's when I started to learn I was feeling tired, like fucking lethargic. Like, I shouldn't have been, like, I was 18 years old. I shouldn't have been that fucking, 18, 19 years old. I shouldn't have been that fucking tired. You feel me? Like, at all. I should not have been that fucking tired. But I was like, yo, what is it? Motherfuckers like, yo, you tired because you high. You smoke a lot. Nah, I did smoke a lot. I smoked every day. I smoked every day, like, same time, consistently every day, and on the grade, like 7 o'clock. You feel me? But part of my old issues from, growing up in the environment that I grew up in, what can you do? I eventually stopped, and I did stop. But, you know what I'm saying? The point of the matter is that, like, that's what I was attributing it to. I'm sleepy because I'm high. I'm sleepy because I'm high. It's like, bruh, you're not high right now. You're still sleepy. You feel me? It wasn't until it started to register my sophomore year when her and I, went celibate the first time, because I was focusing on school. I was focused and that my focus strengthened. That was the year I, ended up becoming Mr. Honors Hall. I got Distinguished Leader of the War. I tell this story all the time. And these are the reasons why I have to tell this story, because I'm like, it was because I stopped fucking. I'm not even going to say stop fucking. It's because I stopped nutting. You feel me? Now, they were tied together. So I'm thinking it's because I'm not fucking. It's like, yo, I'm clear, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not getting no pussy. But I had always been connected that when you fuck, you nut. You're supposed to get that orgasm, and you're not. You're not. Sexual energy is about, the sex is about healing. It's about creativity. And literally, the longer you can go, you're literally supposed to spend at least 7 minutes. 7 minutes per chakra energy. You have 7 chakras in your body. You have 12 total. Imagine how long sex is really supposed to be when you're doing it right. Just multiply the shit. 7 times 12 is what, 84? So 84 minutes. Most motherfuckers can't run 84 minutes. You know why? Because our root chakras are fucked up. We can't even get past the first 7, first 14. We're like, oh, damn, girl, your pussy too good. No, it's not that her pussy's too good. Your body is now wired to nut that fast. Everything in your body is conditionally, like, you're releasing and you're tensing up. Your body is storing these as opposed to releasing them. Like, think about this. Think about the paradox in this shit. Whenever we bust off, right, our bodies clench up to the tightest, but we're releasing. How? The orgasm is not supposed to be defensive. It's not supposed to shut our bodies down. When you clench and you go through that convulsive shock, you're supposed to be at a relax. We don't relax. We tighten up. And as we tighten up over time, what happens, that develops and shit. So you feel what I'm saying? Tie that back into, I'm telling the story because that year when I became Distinguished Leader and blah, 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 and all that shit, I wasn't fucking. But that I look in hindsight now and realize that there was something tied to that shit. I was not sleepy, and I was still smoking weed. So I was like, where the fuck is my energy coming from? Couldn't put two and two together. And then, but that's when it took away from me. I'm like, it's not the weed, bro. It's not the weed. But I did start smoking weed simultaneously too. So it was like I was extra not tired. Now I'm on point because I'm like, yo, I can't be high. I can't be coming off of a high from the night before if I'm sitting with chancellors and I'm sitting with all this shit. So I just, stopped it. Right. But now I'm not fucking shorty right now. You know what I'm saying? Still my girl. This like my thing, this was her plan. Like, she was like, let's be celibate. Okay, cool. And it was the best thing that happened to me, but it showed me the power of celibacy. She was like, what if you wanted this? Like, look, I'm with you. So I know how to, I'm not addicted to sex. That's one thing that I'm proud of for myself. I have never been addicted to sex. I have never been addicted to vagina as much as I got. Now, I was, the feeling always felt good, for the orgasm, but I was never addicted to sex. I could always walk away from it. I could always say no. I never got into a position where motherfucking, if I ain't getting no pussy, like I'm a freak out. Like, nah, I never got that. So she was like, well, so what you gonna do when you get home? I'm like, well, shit, I do something. And I also had that creative energy. I didn't even know that was tied to it. So I was like, I go make a beat or something. I'm gonna go write a song. It's cool. I find something to do. Like, what the fuck? Like, I don't get why you're asking me why would I be, if we decide to be celibate, if you think I'm gonna go fuck somebody else. Like, that shit made no sense to me. But I get it now. It was her own insecurities and all that shit. You learn a lot as a kid. You dig what I'm saying? But anywho, so it charged me up. And one thing that I can say is when me and her first stopped having sex, the first time, we did it twice. The first time, it was like, bam, we're not the same people. We should not be fucking with each other. My creativity was stronger. I was doing a lot of other things. And it was like, you're doing nothing but going to class and barely passing. It's not a shot to her or anything like that, but it's just the reality of what it is. It's like, I can now see you because I'm not fucking you. Hey, huddle up, broskies, because it's time to elevate. The secret to evolving masculinity is to define it, understand it, then apply it. The So Frail series defines masculinity as the spiritual, mental, and physical embodiment of the essence of analysis and deconstruction. From this definition, I explain how masculinity is not just the hat that we wear, but it's the essence that we must exude through application. If you enjoy the So Frail conversations, why not read the books that inspire them? Visit IamJustSeen.com right now to add the So Frail series to your library to get a better understanding of what masculinity really is. I promise, after reading So Frail, you will never look at masculinity the same again. Some very ironic shit. I now see you because I'm not fucking you. Crazy as hell. But anywho, I would go on to do these things, achieve these goals and shit like that. And we started fucking again. You feel me? We started fucking again. And it was because if she didn't, she would have ended up cheating or whatever the case may be. And it was like, I just felt it. And I was like, how is it that as a man, I'm the one who's supposed to not be able to control his urges and shit? But, it was what it was. So, and then ironically, we went celibate again, and that she ended up cheating the second time we went celibate. But it was in both of those celibacy pockets that I realized that, well, just not even in the celibacy pockets, but okay. In the first celibacy pocket, when I started going back to the gym, I got strong fast as shit. Like, I didn't know, like, I'm like, bro, how the fuck am I getting this? Like, for real, like, bro, I'm in this motherfucker. Like, I wasn't on like protein shakes or nothing like that. It was just like eating and then not fucking so much. I had energy. I didn't need pre-workouts. I didn't need any of that shit. I had energy. You feel me? I just had it. So I would notice that the more that I worked out, like I stood up right, the less sex that I was having. You know what I'm saying? Not even sex. I'm tying it to the nut because I'm showing the significance of semen retention. The less I was nutting, the more I, retained that shit. My body aligned accordingly. My energy was up. My posture was straight. I was sitting up more. My eyes were more vibrant. I looked alive. You don't really know that you look like you're dying when you're in the moment. It's not until you step back and like, what the fuck? My eyes are really brown. Like, I know my eyes are brown. I've always knew my eyes are brown, but there's a different light in my eyes when I'm in the like when I'm not releasing my life force energy and when I'm retaining it, I promise you, there's a different light in my shit. So much so that it's noticeable by people in real time. I'm like, I've always heard that, when it would always be women telling me, they were like, "Oh, you have the biggest pretty eyes I've ever seen." I'm like, whatever. You just want some dick. Leave me the fuck alone. But it wasn't that. They were like, I can see the light in your eye. Whenever I was celibate, whenever I was like, and I would notice, I would pay attention to when people said that. You feel me? The moments when I was depleting the energy, it was like, yo, I don't have that light. And I finally seen it in myself. I say, yo, this is some real shit. When you start to notice certain shit about yourself, when you become self-aware, you start to pay attention real closely to the little nuances that are changing things. But I still never tied it to the fact that I wasn't nutting. I thought it was just the sex part. You feel me? So time is going on, and I'm starting to see myself. My posture's changing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting more upright, and like motherfuckers like, yo, you stand like you that dude. Because I am, motherfucker. Shit. But I would notice like I had a different light about myself, a different energy. And when we started fucking again, it was like, damn, my shoulders started dropping. I started feeling a lot more lethargic and shit. And at first, people, it's like, oh, that's because, you was taking on her energy. It wasn't just the energy I was taking on. Because like I said, prior to that, I had fucked several women in my day who were almost like her. She was my type. So I was fucking my type. So it wasn't just the energies that I was taking on. It's the energy I was releasing out of myself. Whether it was into a condom or not, because, I always use condoms. But whether it was in that, but I was still releasing my life force energy every time, completely depleting it, and then going off and then trying to do something with it. You feel me? Like that was almost impossible to do. You feel me? And like I said, I was dealing with like, oh, we got to go again. We got to run that shit back. Bam, bam, bam. It's like, oh shit, I'm fucking tired. And I got to keep the front up. Like, I'm with you, Taylor. I'm with you, Solar. Give me 15 minutes to bring it back up. And then I got you. You feel me? It's really 19.7 minutes to actually, get back up again. It's crazy. I ain't gonna get into how I know. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? Take about 15 minutes to get your shit back up, and then you go again, and then you nutting again. You feel me? To the point where you get to a point where it's like, damn, ain't really nothing coming out. It's just ain't nothing coming out. Now you fucking tired, you're exhausted, you're lethargic, and now this is translating to every single day of your life. So if you're giving off your life force energy, technically you're shortening your life because you're giving off far more. You feel what I'm saying? So it was when we started having sex again that I was like, where the fuck is my light going? Like, my eyes were not as bright as they used to be. Like, it was just different. It was every time I stopped fucking her, we had a moment of not fucking. You feel me? Shit got better for me. And I was always thinking, oh, it's just the sex itself. It wasn't just the sex itself. It's the fact that I'm releasing my life force energy. You dig what I'm saying? Because I remember it was I had to be the end of my sophomore year, going into my junior year, because I started working, because the work that I put in as Mr. Honest Hall got me a job for the summer, a dope job too, man. You feel me? They paid for a little housing. I got to stay on campus. They let me pay for housing and shit. I was working with maintenance and shit for that. I ain't had to do shit but buy food, bro. And if I would have known what I know now about invested, I would have been on point. But anywho, I ain't gonna get into that shit. We're talking about the semen retention. So it's like she went home for the summer session or whatever the case may be. And I was like, cool. And this whole time I'm not fucking because I was a loyal person. I'm dedicated to the woman I'm with. So I wasn't fucking my energy. Like, when I say with maintenance, we was doing everything. We was painting, we was fixing shit, we was lifting shit, we was doing all kind of shit that we wasn't even qualified for. They just hired a group of college kids because they was like, yo, it's cheap labor, basically. So we moving shit. When I say I was stronger than the motherfucker. Like, when I say we moving weight, man. Me and this dude, his name was Slim. I'm slim, but they called him Slim. I was a little bit bigger in undergrad too. I was way bigger in undergrad because, I ate a lot more, and you feel me? I was not eating, some of the shit that I eat now, or I was eating the same way. So, but you feel me? We was lifting refrigerators, just like on some other shit. And they was like, bro, you must not be fucking. You strong as shit. I'm like, you're right. I've heard that shit. Like, yo, you need to release something, nigga. You too strong. I was watching, what was it? Tyler Perry's movie, Why Did I Get Married? The dude was like, yeah, me and what you call it, we ain't had sex in a long time. He's like, I know you strong. Like that was a bad thing because we're supposed to be. But all of this, our real strength, our inner strength comes from not releasing our our sexual energy, but retaining it and transmuting it because it does make us stronger. It does make us healthier. You dig what I'm saying? But it's like once she came back and then we started fucking again, I will notice like, yo, I don't feel like going to class. I'm just tired, bro. I'm exhausted. You know, the first time you meet up, you know, after a long period of time, y'all fuck like 3-4 times, bro. Y'all know what the fuck it's like. Oh, I haven't seen you in so long. I'm excited and shit. Blah, 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 blah. And you fucking like 3-4 times that night and shit, sleeping it off and shit. But it's like, damn, bro, I'm tired. Tie it back to the nutritional thing because it's like you're releasing the equivalent of the energy and the nutrients. The nutrients and energy that will be required for you to be able to run 20 miles is what you would release in every orgasm. 3 and 4 times a day. Ain't no way in hell you're running 60 to 80 miles a day. You can't do it. It's not humanly possible. I don't give a fuck. We can fucking go to the ends of the earth, the eons of time, light years away, to a distant time in the future where that shit's possible. Because I know they say at one point in time, running a 4.2 was almost impossible because it was, you know, the heart will bust or whatever the case may be. Now motherfuckers can run a 4 flat. That's not the same shit as running 20 fucking miles. Running 80 miles in an hour, you can't do it. It's not physically possible. You dig what I'm saying? It's just not physically possible. 80 miles in a day, and like it just don't work. But that's the equivalent of life force energy we're depleting of ourselves, right? So now, like I said, this now goes into when we get older. You feel me? This now goes into when we're older men. We're in a, you know, now we're tired. We just, oh man, I just can't. Looking at our shoulders drop, feel defeated, bodies depleting and all this shit because you're giving off all of your life force energy. Because you're having a nut every single time you fucking. And they're like, now, I'm going to show the significance of this, right? When we look at life expectancy, they say on average, women live 10 years longer than men. Oddly enough, I might be reaching, but oddly enough, women also complain about not having orgasms. Men, on the other hand, we have orgasms at will. Imagine. Just on a regular basis. If just normal numbers, we're using averages because they say life expectancy, women typically live 10 years longer than men. Our orgasms can literally take 10 years off of our life collectively. We're releasing enough life force energy within those pockets that it ultimately leads to us cutting 10 years down on our lives. Shit crazy, right? But this shit we don't talk about. This shit we don't dive into because we don't know. Now, mind you, you've been encouraged all your life to learn how to fuck, get the nut and all of that shit. It's like, yo, you're not taught what sex really is. You taught how to fucking get a nut. You taught how to masturbate with a body. Now you go watch your porn. Like, I seen fathers supposedly take the time with their kid to teach them about sex, and he just put on a flick and said, all right, this is where the hole is. This is where this. There's nothing else outside of that. That's how I learned about sex. I was watching a flick. Mind you, I was 7. Now, granted, that's when I watched my first one. By 11, when I actually got into it, it was like, whoa, it's different from the movies. It's different from what they show on TV. Like, oh, that shit got angles to it. It's like, how you put it in here. I didn't like when you watching it. You feel me? You don't know that. You don't know that you about to get engulfed by some shit. You don't know where your dick gonna go. You don't know how far it's gonna go. You don't know shit about shit. You just put the motherfucker in, and now you know it's like it just something covers your whole entire body. You feel an energy and a warm surge cover through you, like, whoa, what is this? You feel me? and you got to learn certain aspects and certain dynamics, but they just teach you, yo, put you got to get the hole right. You got to just put it in the hole, make sure you know what it is, and that's it. They don't teach none of the other shit. So here we are. You feel me? I'm just gonna stick to the average. Like most of us had lost our virginity and started fucking heavy, like 15, 16 years old, right? Imagine that. You're going from that. And then don't be the ladies, man. Don't be the motherfucker that got all the hoes. Don't be the motherfucker that got all the girls, because you fucking a lot more. Now it's a goal for you. Now it's a task. You feel me? Now it's a task. Like keeping, I'm not proud of this shit, but I'm damn sure not ashamed either. You feel me? Like keeping like 2, 3, keeping anywhere between 3 and 5 women in rotation in a week. You feel me? Oh, you on your period? Okay. I said some sick shit to women sometimes. Oh, you on your period? You got to use your mouth. Oh, you ain't trying to do that? Because I'm from the taboo era where women was sucking dick frivolously. Like, you feel me? Like, you feel me? It was like, girl, nah, I don't suck dick like that. Shit. Motherfuckers, like, I think that era started it. But anywho, it's like, those moments would be like, you feel me? I kept shit in rotation. Like I would be I worked at a job where, you know what I'm saying, sneak off and get some head in in a cubby or some shit. Like, you feel me? It was like so many different dynamics and so many different layers to the shit. And it's like a lot of us are in those pockets where we were groomed and constantly going, getting nuts all these motherfucking times. And now we're in our 20s and shit. And it's not just school and sports. You know, I know athletes, when I used to fuck with my homeboys that used to play sports, and they'd be like, yo, I ain't fucking nothing 2 days. They would not fuck nothing 2 days before the game. And I never got why. They was like, but you know, they're like, yeah, my pops used to always say, yo, don't. And it's like, it was just the basic surface level. He like, yeah, my pops used to say, don't, you know, try not to fuck nothing 2 days before the game so you don't be tired. But tell us why we tired. Cause man, when you be nothing, you drained. Now we need to know why we're drained. You feel me? That's why Wilt Chamberlain was a motherfucking phenomenal motherfucker, bro. Like, I don't care what nobody say, dog. Like, for real. They say Wilt Chamberlain fucking fucked over 10,000 women. Now, granted, they don't say lifetime or career. So I just assume career. So he had a 14-year career, my guy. Over 10,000 women. I'm just using 10,000 as a base. 14 women. 14 years. 10,000 women. That is literally almost like 2 women a day. Consistently in 14 years. 2 women a day. And then he'll go up and put 53 points. He'll fuck one before the game. Like, by that logic, he's fucking one before the game, playing the game, and fucking one after the game every single day. Now, he's not playing basketball every single day, so he has his off days, but he's fucking at least 2 women every day in order to get over this 10,000 number. Just within the 14 years. So it's like, what happens to us when we continue down this route without knowing it? You know, by 30, our dicks are fucked up. There's no reason why. I'm sorry. I can't co-sign it. I get they say, well, times are changing. There's no reason why motherfuckers, my peers in my 30s and in my age bracket should be having erectile dysfunction. You feel me? Like, it just should not be happening. It just shouldn't. Like, I would have conversations with, and this is why Stella be wanting to get a groove back, low key, bro. Like, the fuck, you're at a position where you fucked so much. And then now it gets even worse because now, you know, we have that gap where we, you know, get younger women. The fuck, you done fucked your dick up already. Like, the fuck, these women are vibrant. They're vital. Like, you feel me? They're ready to go, bro. Like, you got to be ready to go. And it's like, oh, nah, I can't. I'm not up. Oh, it's stress. It's this, that, and third. It's none of that. It's not that. It's the fact that you have been fucking for so long, nutting every single time. You feel me? I lost count how many women I've had sex with. Like, I stopped counting after a while because it was pointless to count. Because it was one of those things like when you first start, it's like, yeah, man, I'm catching bodies, yo. And it's like that. So it's another body. And then it doesn't even matter anymore. It's just like, the fuck. Like, yo, how many women? I don't know, nigga. Fuck. Who counts? You get to a point where it's like, yo, who counts anymore? Like, And the sad part about it is that I was at that point by the time I was 19 years old. I was at the who counts anymore part by 19 years old. I'm 30 now. You dig what I'm saying? I've been celibate for this is my 6th year now. And I'm so glad that I did this shit. So glad. Now, this ain't encouraging and saying, yo, be celibate or anything like that. But I'm saying this shit gave me my life force energy back. And I started to realize that, bro, it's me fucking. It's me nutting all the motherfucking time. That's what's draining me. You feel me? That's really what's taking me off my rocker. Like that's what's really fucking with me, giving me the it's releasing my life force energy. You feel what I'm saying? It's releasing my life force energy. And it's like now I'm starting to pay attention to that shit. Like, had I stayed this pace for motherfucking from the time I started to now, there was never a celibacy pocket. If there was never a relationship to slow me down or anything like that, man, I can't even tell you how many women it would have been. You feel me? And it's like in that pocket of in that understanding of myself, it was like, bro, that shit was draining me. You're depleting your energy. You feel me? There was times I would fuck 2 women a night. 2 different night, like, and I don't know, like, well, sometimes it was no, but I meant that in the context of it'll be one, and then like, bam, I'll leave and go see another one. You know, I had a couple moments in between time, but you feel me? Like this is what I've been programmed and I've been taught to do. This is what we've been taught to do all of our lives. Do this shit. You know, you watch porn and shit. Yo, let me get the threesome. Let me do these things. And you want these things and you try to get them and you have a nut every single time. Who gonna catch it? I'm gonna bust on both days. Like there's some like, man, I've done some shit that's like, I've done some porn star shit. The shit that you see in the movies, I've done that to women. It's like, but why? Because it's like, oh, that's what they did in the movies. That's what they say you gotta do. That's how you that dude. You feel what I'm saying? And that's not what gives you that's not what gets you right. This is the reason why I practice celibacy. It changed my perspective of life. It was not about, and this is why it's not hard for me. Like motherfuckers be on some shit. Well, damn nigga, don't you get horny and shit like that? Yeah, and I get creative and I make shit. I can't keep releasing all of this shit, bro. Because I realize how vital my life force energy is. I'm gonna say it like this. You never really understand how powerful your life force energy is until you start creating shit. I'm not talking about getting a good job. I'm not talking about a small accomplishment. When you learn how to truly create shit, you know, and you start to see the power of your life force energy, you want to keep it a lot more. You want to keep it a lot more. You feel what I'm saying? My first instance of understanding my creative energy was while I was fucking as a kid, but you know what I'm saying? I was also making beats. And it would almost be, I would lock into the crib like fucking, you know, if I wasn't fucking something, I was making a beat. They were like synonymous, or I was at work. So my days off, if I didn't have any pussy lined up, I was writing a song or I was making a beat. That's what it was. I had gone through like I had made so many different beats. I was just in my pocket, but I was like, damn, this is dope. So then I started writing and I didn't even pay attention to the fact that I wasn't fucking. You feel me? But I could be sitting with my homies and they'd be like, yo, bro, I ain't had no pussy in a week, bro, man. Something got to get. I'm like, damn, man. Then I thought about it like, you know what? I probably ain't had nothing in a week either, bro. Maybe 2. You feel what I'm saying? It got to that point where I was like, damn, I'm now feeling that void. But I wasn't aware of all the shit that I'm aware of now. So then I got older. And when I went on my celibacy run, it just kind of flowed together. I was like, you know what? Tap in. That's when all of the shit that I created came out into reality. And I was like, damn, it's not until that you can really evaluate and you can value and have appreciation for your life force energy the right way. You dig what I'm saying? Really have appreciation for your life force energy. And I challenge all my brothers to take celibacy. You feel me? Cut them off. Cut them off. I ain't gonna say hoes, because we ain't fucking hoes. We just call them hoes after we fuck, but they ain't hoes while we trying to get the ass. You feel me? Anyway, it's like we do that because it's like if we took that time, like just imagine, yo, you took a year. You feel me? Like we do no, like this is what pisses me off. We do no nut November. 11 months. You know, like 11 months, but a lot of productivity happens within, I mean, a 1 month period. A lot of time, a lot of productivity happens. Motherfucker be like, yo, bro, I was clear, man. Don't know. Like, imagine if you did that shit for a year. Imagine if you did that shit for 6 years. Oh no, I can't go that long. Why? Why? Because you're conditioned and you're wired and your program to always get a nut. Always get a nut. You feel me? And they do, I've learned, I guess it's in my unplugging from the matrix, I guess, or whatever you want to call it. But I've learned that they throw little tests out to see if you'll pay attention to the shit that is really killing you, to see if you'll stop it. You feel me? No nut November, when you have like it in that 1 month, you feel me? You have a lot more vitality and vibrancy than you have within the other 12. Or the other 11. You feel me? In the 12-month pocket. But you don't catch it. You do not catch it. You miss it. Why? Because the addiction, because of the connection that you have to having a nut. You'd rather be tired and incapable of doing certain things than you would like no nut November, right? No nut November is so powerful that no funny shit. That women who are fucking with men who participate in that, they get some of the best sex they've had because he put off. And they don't catch it. Dudes be so, yo, I'm just ready to get back in it again. You have life force energy to give off now. You have life force energy inside. Keep it. Retain that shit. Use it. I'm not saying don't be out here fucking. I'm not saying don't get your dick wet. I'm saying you don't have to nut every time you fucking. You're only supposed to be nutting when it's time to create a child. If we're going to be honest, if we're going to be real and we're going to be technical, you feel me? Now we wonder, now people talk about the vaccine being population control. A lot of this shit was population control as well. Because now what happens when you have a low sperm count? Why do you have a low fucking sperm count? Because you're not retaining any of your sperm cells. Oh man, doctor say my soldiers ain't marching. Why ain't your fucking soldiers marching? Because now you're releasing the equivalent of 20 miles of energy. Now within the 20 miles of energy you're releasing, it's also the nutrient equivalent to it. So you're giving out your zinc, your copper. You feel what I'm saying? Your all of the necessary vitamins and minerals that are responsible for semen production and sperm cell production are being depleted every time you release an orgasm. Do you take multivitamins? Do you eat right? No. You feel me? You can't possibly take enough vitamins and minerals to get that shit back. You dig what I'm saying? But you deplete so motherfucking much. It's like, bro, what do I do? What do I do? Now you got to double. It's like a bank account that's in debt and you keep overdrawing it. That's what it's like. You think a bill's really going to get paid off auto draft? Fuck no. You feel me? Our lives are just like that. That's what the depletion is. You feel me? This is what the depletion is. And you have those moments where it's like, yo, how do I get to this? Like, this is one of the things that I've always asked my brothers. Like, they ask me, like, how do you get to this point? You got to be celibate, bro. You'll never get to the point that I am spiritually until you practice celibacy. Now, I'm not saying you have to practice it for as long as I have, but you have to practice celibacy at least one time in your life for at least a year. So you can feel a full transition and analyze your life. Then you'll know the purpose of celibacy. This just not hard. It's not hard. The reason why it appears hard is because you're not practicing celibacy. You're trying to abstain from sex. You're trying to restrain yourself. That's why it's hard. You see it as a task. You see it as another obligation, something you have to do. Because I understand sex, I understand the body, I understand so many different things that tie into it. Celibacy was never hard. Because when I compared the two, and I was like, man, I've been fucking energetic like a motherfucker. You feel me? In practicing celibacy in these last 6 years, right? I'm 30 now, but say in the last 6 years, 25, 24. I remember when I first started to run, I think I was 25. I'm about to be 31, 25. Yeah. Anyway, my nephews, I forget how old they were, but I remember I went to the gym that day. Like this is when I first started celibacy. Like, so I went to the gym that morning, came home. You feel me? This is the summertime too. This is summer. This was before. It was definitely 2015. This was before I went to Philly. So I'm playing. I go to the gym. Like I was in the gym for like an hour and a half. You feel me? I come home and then I go to my sister's house. You feel what I'm saying? See my nephews and shit. My nephews are there. And so, like, because it's summertime, everybody's gathered at my sister's house. She at the biggest house and shit. So we gathered there. So after I leave the gym, I go to see my nephews. They're like, let's go to the park. I take them to the park with a soccer ball. I play with them for another hour. My brother's like, how in the fuck are you doing that shit, bro? It's because you vegan, ain't it? It's like, it might be it, but I don't think it's the plant-based shit. He was like, bro, you the only motherfucker I know that got the energy like you got. How? He was like, you just left the motherfucking gym. He said, man, yo, it's because it's what you eating. I said, it's deeper than that. It's because I'm not fucking. It's because I'm not fucking. Not only am I not fucking, I'm not nothing. You know what I'm saying? And this is, it put into perspective. Like when I went to med school, you know what I'm saying? Shows me how fucked up our mentality is as black men as a whole. And I didn't knock him for it because I understood where he was coming from. My brother's like, yo, where you going to school at? I told him, I'm going to Dominica. He said, bro, if you don't get nothing pregnant over there, nigga, I'm not going over there to fuck women. I'm over there to get an education and learn. The fuck? He's like, nah, bro, you ain't my brother if you won't go there and get you nothing pregnant. I'm like, all right, well, I ain't your brother then, bro. We joked and laughed about it. He was like, man, all them baddies is going to be over there. He said, man, if you don't smash something foreign, I was like, yo, you want to live through me or something? So what I could tell you, I smashed a foreign chicken. You didn't get it. So here's my story. No, I didn't want to do that. But it's like, it shows the programming. Because that's what the whole conversation was about. All my homies was like, now mind you, I wasn't practicing celibacy yet. So when I went to Dominica, I didn't fuck nothing, but I could have, but I didn't. I was like, I started to pay attention to the fact that, yo, I'm not fucking anything. And I'm not nothing. And I'm retaining information a lot better. I'm a lot smarter. I'm more alert, more astute. I'm all of this shit, bro. I'm like, okay, cool. Now is when I took it seriously. You feel me? Motherfuckers think I got photographic memory or some shit. They be like, bro, how do you remember so much? Because my mind ain't foggy. One of the funniest things ever to me is when people find out that I smoke weed. They be like, I thought weed makes you dumb. No. Dumb motherfuckers smoke weed. Fuck, like it's not. Weed don't make you dumb. You're already dumb and you just smoke weed. That's it. You feel me? Now, granted, it does slow your paces down a little bit because it's a brain fog. You know what I'm saying? Any smoke inhalation would do that to your brain. It's not just weed. You're smoking. You feel what I'm saying? But it's like, I don't miss a beat. But, it's deeper than that. It's because of the celibacy that I practice. And so because I understand this, I'm like, my brothers, we got to practice semen retention. I'm like, what? I'm supposed to nut. Why? Tell me why. Tell me what value nutting all the time has. Let's take away the fact that you're trying to have a baby. This is why you got to have a strong pullout game. This is why you have to have condoms for the safety part, but don't get me wrong. But it's like when you look at what would, otherwise be the reality, it's like, they create this world for you to believe that you have to nut every single time. Tell me why. Tell me what purpose getting a nut every single time serves you. Didn't even think about the fact that you don't have a purpose behind why you nut every time. You just know you do. And you've been doing it since you started fucking. Why? Because you've been programmed for it. How have you been programmed for it? Through the porn, through the shit that's been passed down from men who don't know shit about sex. They just know about fucking. Don't know shit about sex, but know everything about fucking. And don't forget to take a moment to go get your exclusive merchandise from Just Scenes merch. At Just Scenes, each piece is specifically crafted with positive imagery and symbolism. From the titles and designs to the descriptions, each style gives you something to feel great about. With everything from hoodies and tees to coffee mugs and tote bags, we have something for the entire family. So be sure to get yours today. Find us on Instagram at Just Scenes Merch and get your merchandise right now. So yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. I think I'm gonna wrap it up there. And I guess after all, it was a reason why because I didn't say none of this shit in the first one that I dropped. But it's here now. My brothers, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I don't give a fuck if you do what I suggest. You feel me? But practice celibacy. Stop nutting. You feel me? If you're gonna be fucking, fuck. But don't stop, if you're gonna have a woman, explain to her, look, yo, I'm not nutting this session. You feel me? It has nothing. You're gonna have to explain it to her. Because we got WAP, we got all these different things to let women know. If your pussy, if he can't come and that and the third, your pussy trash, blah, 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 blah. Women have to eat that shit too. So you gotta explain to her, I am not nutting. And because I'm not nutting and shit, like I have to practice that shit. When you feel that point of coming out, like pull out, like stop. You feel me? It ain't that her pussy is so good that it's like as soon as you put it in, you want to nut. The problem is that your body is now wired and conditioned to nut fast and nut faster over time. You feel me? It's subtle. You don't go back through your body counts. Start when you're a kid. And I can put money on it that your sessions got shorter and shorter and shorter over time. See, that's the thing. It's gradual. It's gradual. You don't just become a minute man. You don't start off a minute man. You feel me? Now, granted, your first time, you don't control shit. You feel me? But like when you go back to your first, man, I remember I would be able to go like hour and a half and shit. Now, motherfucker, she lucky if I get 30 minutes because your body does not have the willpower and it doesn't have the energy to go that long anymore because you've been depleting it over the years. You dig what I'm saying? You've been depleting it over the years. Like I said, imagine most of us started fucking at 15, 30, 40, 50 years old. You feel me? I'm just going to use my age pocket because I don't really know much about the older heads. I just know that a lot of them use Viagra now. A lot of them shit don't work. I'm telling you, like, it's like, nigga, bro, the fuck? As long as, like, my thing is this. A penis is always supposed to get erect, right? As long as it has blood flow to it. As long as it can still have the nerve stimulation. Why does the nerve when you overstimulate a nerve this shit's going to hit home. When you overstimulate a nerve so many times, you feel me? The muscles become weaker. You feel me? When you don't strengthen the muscles, but you overstimulate the nerves. You don't like, you know what I'm saying? Over time, that nervous area doesn't work. It's almost like a stroke. When you have a stroke, a lot of people don't pay attention to this. The reason why the left side is shut down, there's so much tension stored up in the nerves that they finally stop firing off at one time. And then the whole body shuts down. That's why the whole left side drops and everything, because it's a nervous thing. Feel me? I feel like the same shit happens with erectile dysfunction. Like you get to a point where you have tensed it up so much and constantly tensed it up so much that over time it deteriorated to the point where now it's just like, it don't get up anymore. It don't work no more. You feel what I'm saying? Now, like I said, there was a time when, that was taboo. Like, you feel me? It's almost like wigs. Like women used to laugh at old heads for wearing wigs and now they wear them all the time. Dudes used to laugh, man, that nigga, he got to take them blue pills. Motherfuckers is my age taking blue pills. That's a problem. That's a problem. I'm 30. Fuck. I'm 30. If you in my age pocket, you between 30 and 35. You know what I'm saying? If your shit don't work, that's a problem, bro. It's a motherfucking problem. But why don't it work? Now, I get it. Motherfuckers, ladies, man, yeah, I remember. Like, I got my stories out. I used to tear them to pieces. Y'all used to be like, yeah, I knocked them off. But then what happens when you get older and the dick game ain't what it is? It can't be what it is no more. Now you want to blame her. Yo, it ain't my fault your pussy so good. It ain't her pussy, bro. Your body is now used to nutting quick. As soon as you win some shit, it's like, bam, run it out. And then let's not even talk about just the fucking part, but then the parts when you ain't getting no pussy and shit, you just like, I want to rub one out. That shit starts to take its toll too. The masturbation, it starts to take its toll too. So now your whole life force energy is being depleted. Now you have low T. Your testosterone is going down. You dig what I'm saying? Your low sperm count, all of that shit. Why? Why does that happen? It's designed to. They wired it this way. They want it to be this way. We talk about the vaccine being population control. This is population control too. The fuck? Motherfucker, you don't even have enough sperm to make a baby. And then it can go on to some shit like now we're looking at the woman a lot of times. Oh, her womb just won't hold. No, he doesn't have enough sperm to make it to the egg. The fuck? You feel me? Why do you think when you go, they say wait at least 3 days before you have sex again if you're trying to have a baby? It takes at least 3 days to get a solid orgasm. The fuck? Like the shit's right fucking there. You feel me? But it's like, even that is not enough. Even that is not enough. You still have to take the vitamins. You still have to take minerals. You still have to have proper nutrition. And you have to stop nutting all the time. You have to stop nutting all the time. I'm going to say that one more time really loud and clear. You have to stop nutting all the time. It's not good for your body. It's not good for your mind. It's not good for your soul. You are releasing life force energy. This is the reason why. And I seen this post one time. This shit was funny as hell. It said, women live 10 years longer than men because men are stupid. No, that's not why. Women are living 10 years longer than men because men are nutting all of the time. And women aren't. Yes, it ties down to the sex, why you guys live longer than us. If women had as many orgasms as men have in a day, we'd live the same. Women might live shorter, but not on any funny shit, because not on any funny shit, but because when women get an orgasm for real, and they can consistently get one, oh, my dude, you're giving her one all the time. You're going to have to. She's not going to settle for anything less. You're going to be like, God damn, man. I don't want to go no more. I'm tired. The fuck? Stop it. You feel me? That's why women like back-to-back orgasms. You feel me? Women like back-to-back orgasms. But the reason why, like I said, women aren't affected the way men are because they're not always getting back-to-back orgasms because of our body counts. And we don't want to talk about shit. Oh, women, if she got too many bodies, is this, that, and the third and shit like that, bro. This is now let's pay attention to the effects of you having too many bodies. Oh, now it's different. Now your dick don't work. I'm telling you, I can't wait to have a son. Because I'm going to give him the full game, the whole game, nothing but the game. Bro, all right, enjoy it. Enjoy it now if that's what you're going to be choosing to do. But understand, if you want your dick to work 15 years from now, stop it. You feel me? I know nigga, I can't stop him from doing whatever he's going to do. But I have to teach him the right game. I wasn't taught that. None of us were taught that. I did not know that every orgasm I release is, and I'm going to put it into perspective for him because I like to learn. I like to teach through experience. I'm going to see if he can run 20 miles in a day. I'm going to run it with him. I'm going to try to. I'm like, Dad, we can't do this. It's not physically possible. Then I'm going to be able to get him to the understanding every time you release an orgasm, it's the equivalent of running 20 miles. Now, imagine this when you're going forward in life. Utilize this when you're going forward in life. I was like, do you feel hungry? Yeah, man, I'm fucking hungry. And of course, he probably ain't going to cuss at me, but I'm like, yeah, Pops, I'm hungry and shit. Like, bro, all right. Do you feel depleted? Do you know what minerals your body needs? And he said, yeah, man, I'm depleted of everything, man. My electrolytes gone, everything. Pop, what you trying to get at? Because this is what is happening every time you have an orgasm. Can you do this one time now? No, I can't. So why would you release all of this? You have to be taught this shit. You know what I was taught? I remember in the it took my 7th grade teacher to start talking about sex, and he was on some asshole shit. He taught us how to put a condom on. Well, he was an asshole. He had to teach what the curriculum said. Taught us how to put a condom on, where the vagina was. And that's it. And then they did this little thing with some tape where he put the tape on somebody's arm, took it off another person, put the tape on another person, said, this is what sex is like. You're every time you're giving a piece of yourself. Why is nobody telling about the connection between the orgasm and the life force energy? Because as men, as long as we continue to do it, especially as black men, we're the over-sexualized ones. We the ones that's always going to be fucking. You feel me? Once we tie that shit into the shit, as men, we feel, oh, I got a nut every single time. Yo, I'm about to bust, man. She made me bust. And it's like now you get used to coming. You get used to busting. And then you're giving off so much of your life force energy that now you're in your 30s, now you're in your 40s, and now you're struggling with the shit. This is no slight to anybody. I don't want to put any of my homies on blast and shit, but I made a post one time about Kegeling. I say you got to strengthen your pelvic floor. The fuck? You feel me? The strength of your orgasm, the longer your dick is able to stay hard, is because you have a strong pelvic floor. You feel me? A lot of us, our pelvic floors ain't that strong. We don't even stay hard that long. So it ain't got to contract that much. All of those muscles, all of those nerves, those endings, they all operate in the same space. So the pelvic nerve is responsible for causing the erection once the blood flow starts happening. Why? Because it has to hold the dick up once it starts to get hard, because it gets weighty. You feel me? Weight is added to it. Your pelvic floor is fucked up. Chances are your pelvic floor is fucked up if you got a heavy belly. You feel me? It's a whole bunch of other shit that weakens our pelvic floor and shit, which now leads to the erectile dysfunctions and all of the other crazy shit. But at the core of it all, it's all because we constantly release our life force energy. You feel me? Ask yourself this. What would you do if you had that extra 10 years out of the life expectancy? What could you do in life? Imagine, let's just put it on perspective. Let's say women, I don't know the numbers, but let's say women die at 80, men die at 70. What could you do with the extra 10 years of your life? Am I saying 100% that it's guaranteed that, okay, we're the reason why we have a 10-year gap in life expectancy is because of orgasm? But no, that's the only thing I can think of. Because think about it, all things being equal, what is the differentiating factor between men and women when it comes to living longer? Is it they eat this? No, we have the same diets. You feel me? We typically go through the same stressors, especially if we live like we raise kids. Like a couple can, like a familial couple can the man can still die 10 years younger than the wife. Oh, it's because he's working. It's because he's this. Okay, now do you see where I'm going? When you start giving off your life force energy, you're tired. You're exhausted. You feel me? You're fucking exhausted. And now you going home and you still working all of these different, you going to work, working all these different hours and all this crazy shit, and you still trying to fuck. Not only fucking, you releasing this orgasm, you releasing this energy. If you fucking fuck, charge up your energy though, but don't have that orgasm every time. Imagine what you could do with extra 10 years of your life. I had an uncle tell me the youth is wasted on the young. The youth ain't wasted on the young. The young are using it wisely. However, what's wasted on the young is life force energy, especially young men. Life force energy is wasted on the young because we're depleting it and putting it in the wrong places. We're putting it into wombs we don't want to have babies with. Stupid motherfucker. We're putting it into condoms and throwing them away. Stupid motherfucker. Practice semen retention. Keep the fucking energy. Don't release the shit. I'm not saying don't have sex. I'm not saying don't be out here, if you want to dabble into it. But now you need to get to explain, because you have to simultaneously teach the women you fucking, look, I don't nut every time. I'm not going to nut every time. But I would like to have sex still. You feel me? So she's got to deal with that. Oh, well, okay, bam. When are we going to stop? Well, when I have my fill. You feel me? But the fill should not be when you nut. It should be, all right, cool, I'm done. Let me walk away from this. Disconnect. Sex is supposed to be about connection. When you fucking and you have the orgasm, that is about attachment. That's why children are created and shit. You're supposed to connect to the motherfucker, charge up, because the penis and the vagina are both coded. I'm going to say coded just because of how we're talking, with being able to heal the organs of the body. Like I said, each organ is tied to a chakra. Each chakra requires sexual interaction for at least 7 minutes of chakra. Technically, with 12 chakras and 12 total chakras, you have 7 inside of your body. But with 12 total chakras, you'd be having sex for at least 84 minutes. We ain't pushing 84 minutes a session, because we tapped out by 30 because our dicks don't work, because we're continually nutting. Right? Stop doing the shit. Stop teaching the young bulls to do this shit. Like, if you're going to teach them about sex, teach them the full dynamic of sex and teach them the power of keeping that energy, keeping that life force energy in it, and then do something with it. Again, I'm not guaranteeing you're going to get another 10 years back. You might get 15 years back of your life. You dig what I'm saying? Hell, maybe 25. But at the same time, there's a direct correlation between women who've lived longer and say they've never had an orgasm, and men who live shorter who get orgasms all the motherfucking time. Because all other variables are the same. What we eat, where we live, what we think, all of these other things are the same. That's the commonality, and that's the only difference that stands out. You feel me? But as men, bro, It's time to change. It's time to elevate. Again, my peers, the elders, if you're listening, I don't give a fuck about if y'all decide to make this choice or not. But plant the seeds in the boys. Plant the seeds in the young boys, man. Imagine if they were able to learn about life force energy earlier. Bro, you can have a phenomenal child. A very phenomenal child. You feel me? And like I said, block the access to the connections that we're getting because our perception of sex is fucked up. We learn sex through porn. Our parents are too ashamed and scared to talk to us about, oh, you too young for that shit. You know how many too young you know how many times I was too young to talk about sex? I was too young for so much that I started fucking and it was too late for I was too young for so long that it was too late when it was time to talk to me. You feel me? I had my sex talk when I was 16 years old. I never forget. Mom was like, you changing. I'm not changing. She's like, you having sex? Yeah. I never told her I never told her when it was. That will crush her. I know that'll devastate her to know when I started having sex. I think she just started paying attention to me more when I was 16 and shit. Cause like then she knew, yo, you fucking now. I can tell. I can tell. Like I remember when I think I was like 14, and my big cousin was like, he said, you fucking bro. And again, I'm trying to keep it from people because it's like, you don't need, he said, bruh, you got the walk like you dipping in some pussy, bro. And you are killing them too. He said, you got that walk, bro. I know because I got the walk too. I can see it when I see it. I was like, yeah, man, I've been fucking. But he's the only one that I was talking to about it. You feel me? And he still couldn't give me the game, but he just told me how to fuck him good. He said, man, you gotta dig in like this. You gotta roll your body. You gotta do that. He told me how to blow a chick brains out, bro. And that I would like every time I would come to him and talk to him about some shit, he'll give me some new game. I go try it on the chick and shit. Now, mind you, he's telling me shit from a perspective of women he's dealing with women. He's like 8 or 9 years older than me. So he's like, that's the pocket of women. He's talking about the experienced ones. I'm knocking off teenagers with the shit. You feel what I'm saying? I'm 15, 16 years old. You feel me? Hitting 15, 16, 17-year-old women with this shit. They don't know what the fuck going on, but I'm killing them. I'm killing them. You feel me? It was a gift and a curse because, ultimately led to women fighting and shit, throwing tantrums and, all kinds of crazy shit. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm back. Let me focus. But that's all that I was taught. I wasn't taught about semen retention. I wasn't taught about the power of life force energy, as many of us are not. This is the time to change. My peers, the elders, I can't tell y'all to do what y'all gonna do. You feel me? But I can guarantee you that I'm living proof that when you start to retain your energy, you start to get your life force energy back, you're able to do more productive shit in life. I'm telling you. Unplug, bro. Stop watching porn so motherfucking much. Stop getting a nut every fucking time. Start refraining. Treat the no nut November in a whole year and see how your shit changes. See how much vibrant you feel. You dig what I'm saying? See how much vibrant you feel. See how alive you are, how alert you are, how less sleep you need. You feel what I'm saying? When I was on my beginning phases of my entrepreneur run for like a year, almost like 2 years straight, I only slept for 4 hours a day. Now, motherfuckers was like, oh, that's nice. Were you rested? I was rested like a motherfucker. In addition to that, I was putting the proper nutrition in my body because I have created my own multivitamin shit, herbal multivitamin. And I was like, I'm not tired. I would really not be tired because my life force energy was that strong and that potent. You dig what I'm saying? Try it out. If you don't like it, you ain't got to do it. But now pay attention to the destruction that they're actually putting in on us. You feel me? It's really that real. We've been wired and programmed for all this shit for so long. Like I said, now this shit is at our phones. The access is in our fucking phones, dog. Right now, teenagers can watch porn from the phone that they got that their parents think is safe. Oh, I'm blocking. You ain't blocking shit. You ain't blocking shit. They're learning how to bust in chicks' faces. They're learning how to do all these things, and they think that's the way to go. And it's not the way to go. But now that they've internalized it a lot faster, doing it a lot younger, you dig what I'm saying? Like my brother was actually a teenager when he's like, this is how quick it's happening, y'all. You feel me? My brother started fucking when he was a teenager. Like he actually had teen on him, maybe like 15 or 16. I was 11. I stumbled upon his tape at 7. He was already 14. You feel what I'm saying? I stumbled upon his tape at 7. The seed was already planted for me to do it earlier than he did. And I did it earlier than he did. Ended up doing it more. than he did. You feel what I'm saying? Because of the time and the pocket and everything that we was in. But I want to go ahead and wrap it up there because I can go on to a whole different tangent. My purpose in this is we need to practice semen retention. You ain't got to listen to me. You feel me? But for the same token, don't ask me how the fuck I do what I do without understanding my process, without denying the process. Oh, I can't do that. Well, you can't be me. You can't. I mean, of course you can't be me anyway, but you can't reach the heights that I reached simply because you don't want to tap into this particular part of your life. You feel me? Practice semen retention and you will see how much stronger you are physically, mentally, and spiritually. I put money on it. I'm living proof, dog. Motherfuckers that I fuck with on this type time that I be telling you that I've tried to like, yo, bro, this shit works. Go back to November. Don't just do it for no nut November, bro. Do it for a longer period of time. You feel me? Now you'll start to see certain clarities. And then you'll even start to see the people you fucking for who they really are. You see them very clearly when you're not fucking them anymore. But I digress. Go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And make sure we are now teaching our sons the power of semen retention. The power of what it is to not have an orgasm. When you teach them about sex, do not be intimidated. The fact that they're a child, they're too young. Birds and a bee. Fuck a bird and a bee. He ain't a fucking bird and a bee. Or a bee. He's a fucking human being. And he needs to understand how the fuck sex works. Our girls too. You feel me? So now they're not going down the process of, he did not, now my self-worth is all fucked up. So now I got to start doing extra shit, whips and chains and all these masks and concepts and other crazy shit. No. We need to teach sex the right fucking way so it can be used if it's used. I'm not saying promote and have teenagers out here having sex crazily, but teach them all of the necessary shit behind it so they can be responsible. They're going to do it anyway. If they're going to do it, I know we did it. The fuck? But we were not responsible enough because we didn't have all of the know-how. We didn't have all of the information. We didn't have all of the knowledge because motherfuckers wouldn't tell us because we were too young to know. And then what happened? Motherfuckers ended up pregnant. Motherfuckers ended up all this other crazy shit. Stop this fucking cycle. This shit is going to stop when we learn how to communicate with our fucking babies. I'm sorry. It pisses me off because I hate when I think about that and I just pay attention to how the elders get so mad at the kids that they don't teach. You know better. You didn't teach them any fucking thing better. Because they're too young to talk about this. They're too young to know about this. Next thing you know, they're doing it. Now, motherfucker got a baby on the way and you didn't even know the motherfucker was fucking. How? Oh, he's not having sex. Oh, she's not having sex. I know my child. Boop. Motherfucker got a baby on the way. Did you know your child? Motherfucker. Spirit of discernment, my ass. Anywho, make sure you kiss your babies. Kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm going to see y'all all on the next one. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.